Welcome one and all to a Saturday of urgency in the upstate, where tonight's match is presented by Doubletree by Hilton Greenville Woodruff, official host hotel of the Greenville Triumph, and it's a set of sides, one and the same tonight. Greenville Triumph and forward Madison stare into the fire, desperate for results. This is the USL League One, live and in color. Howdy folks, I'm Peyton Kelleher with Ross Davenport. And Ross, the tale of the table is a stark one for both these giants of the league. Forward Madison, Greenville Triumph, both below the line, needing points in a big way.
No doubt about it. Greenville with 12 losses. As you see, they're second most in the league and 2 more in a single season they've ever had. Another defeat tonight could put them 9 points back at the playoffs and in real trouble if other results in the league go against them. Madison at least come in with some decent form. Only 1 loss in their last 4. For the Mingos, a win could move them to within 2 points of the postseason spots.
And for the visitors, they have some success this year against the side that they see today. The last meeting between these two in Wisconsin, immediately controlled by forward Madison, a resounding result for them at home.
Yeah, Luca Dorado with the opener. 9 in the squad tonight, though. A little injury for him. Very debatable red card to Zane Bum in the 20th minute really changed this game. Derek Gebhardt made it 2-0 in the 56th. A shout for offside on that goal, perhaps. Siobhan Marsh would get it back to 2-1 in the 86th, but then Juan Galindres here would finish things off in the 89th minute.
Greenville would have some success beyond that point in the summer. Would go on to be unbeaten in 6 games prior to what's been an unparalleled, really, losing streak for them and their downtick in form. They've dropped 5 consecutive matches now in all competitions, which is the longest such-so streak in club history, and beyond that, they've lost 3 in a row at home, which has tied the all-time mark, in jeopardy of setting some more bad precedent here tonight if they cannot find a way to at least get a single point against forward Madison. 3 points would be preferred and almost demanded with where both these teams stand in the table. You can expect almost assuredly that they go for it. Forward Madison, as an opponent for Greenville, though, has not had a lot of success on the road.
No, you can see there, their only road win on the season was back in late March, 2-1 at Richmond. Derek Gebhardt braced the hook off the bench tonight. They actually started the season off well away from home. It's only one of their first 5, allowing just 6 goals in those games. But coming tonight, losing 4 of the last 5 on the road, and they've allowed 13 goals in their last 5 away games.
Madison will need to find the formula away from home, as they will play the majority of their games on the road down the stretch. Another one coming to you here in the USL League One. It is a key clash, this contest. Here in the upstate, when we return, Greenville Triumph and forward Madison, 3 points at a premium on the other end of a break.
Every day, we get the privilege to serve you, sharing local stories on all your screens.
The first alert on breaking news sent through the Fox Carolina News app.
Serving you with the earliest heads up on storms through the Fox Carolina First Alert weather app.
Live and on-demand newscasts.
Fox Carolina Investigations.
On your streaming TV.
Your stories told right here. Fox Carolina News.
I'm Rick Wright, head coach of the Greenville Triumph Soccer Club. The Triumph play here on Palmetto Sports and Entertainment.
Watch using antenna on channel 21.2 or on Spectrum 703. The Greenville Triumph play here. Palmetto Sports.
El Greenville Triumph y Liberty están orgullosos de asociarse con Telemundo Carolina del Sur. Vean Telemundo Carolina del Sur para mantenerte informado con noticias locales en español y disfrutar de toda la increíble programación de Telemundo. Disponible gratis con antena en el canal 31.1.
Welcome to Wood Creek Dental, where dental care is a family tradition. For over 40 years, we are proud to be a family-owned practice, serving the community of Greenville, South Carolina. At Wood Creek Dental, we believe in quality care and exceptional service. Our experienced dentists and dedicated staff are committed to your oral health. We've invested in modern technology and have created a relaxing atmosphere for your comfort and peace of mind. We prioritize your experience in our calm and caring atmosphere. Our commitment to providing you and your family with exceptional service is at the heart of everything we do, and our patient-centered approach builds relationships based on trust and confidence. Experience the difference for yourself. Wood Creek Dental. Dental care from our family to yours.
And for the 17th time, it's Greenville Triumph and forward Madison nose to nose tonight. in the upstate. The starting lineups presented to you now, and it is with some alteration for Greenville Triumph. We'll have to do it, Ross Davenport, without their manager, Rick Wright.
Yeah, Mark Ward will take over. Rick Wright sent off after the game last weekend. 3 total changes for the Triumph. Seth Torman is out in goal. Rankenberg back in. Siobhan Marsh gets the start, as does DJ Benton, replacing late scratch Zane Bubb. Sebastian Velasquez back on the bench for only the second time since May, and Toby Sims remains out, as does Leo Castro, who did train this week, but was a game-time decision.
For Forward Madison, a team that have been managing injuries all year long, changing on their end as well.
Yeah, just the one change for Matt Glazer after their 1-0 win against Richmond. In comes experienced striker Garrett McLaughlin, who takes Luca Dorado's spot. He's out with a lower leg injury.
Dorado notably scored the opener in the last exchange between these two teams as everything begins to unfold. Will it be a point of uptick or unraveling? That is the question to be asked of both of these squads. Madison need it, Greenville need it. Only way to go is up here tonight. There was an anxious energy somewhat bobbing around both these camps. It felt like a keen understanding of where they resided currently in the table and the exact importance of every passing moment in game. It once more should be understood that neither of these two teams have been in a position like this over the last couple of years. Greenville Triumph have never missed out on the postseason. Matt Glazer has had Forward Madison on the front foot from the moment he stepped in the door. It is do or die time in the simplest of terms.
Yeah, no doubt about it. See, a lot will depend on results elsewhere in the league tonight as well. You and I were talking last week, it's too early to start scoreboard watching, but now we're coming down to the crunch time. Only 5 games left after this one. Other teams with games in hand as well on both of these squads. Makes 3 points tonight critical.
It should be underscored for Greenville that there was a late change to the lineup. Zane Bubb, who had the red card against Forward Madison, pulled up with a bit of a knock in the pre-match run-in, so he gets the hook. That throws the entire equation off kilter just ahead of kickoff. We will see how the formation actually plays and manifests in game. Touch paper about to be lit with Evan Lee, the one to set it in motion. Here from Paladin Stadium in Greenville, South Carolina. Referees are working through a communication issue that seems to be resolved as we set sail here. Forward Madison and Greenville Triumph both looking up at the playoff line. Greenville in hopes of snapping a historic losing streak. Forward Madison with upward thrust, having secured 7 points from their last 4 games, trying to make it 10-5.
Certainly be looking for the fast start, both of these teams. Imagine how many road games Madison have remaining. They're not going to be coming in here or any of these last few games seeking just a point. Smash and grab, they're going to want 3. Connor Evans here, see if he can deliver one on the plate.
Madison will play more road games in the remaining schedule than any team in USL League One. They've only played 10 so far this year heading into today, this being their 11th. It's Connor Evans over the ball. Burn Shipman backed off, and it takes a skip harmlessly out of play. Brendan Fricke was the man presenting the option in the area. Keys to an all-important contest, partner. How do you see that? These are presented by Doubletree.
Yeah, Greenville, well, we wrote this before the change, the extra change at the back with Zane Bubb out. DJ Benton and Anthony Patti had never played fullback together as a starting unit this season. Got to get organized. Just allowing too many sloppy goals over the last few games. Tyler Polak not starting against a team like Madison, who are looking, they're gonna take risks tonight. Matt Glazer's changed his formation over the last few games. More of a 3-5-2 and a 3-4-3. Wants to play a little more direct. He admitted in our midweek chat that leaves them a little more exposed at the back of the defensive midfield at times, but this is no time to not take risks. You've got to get 3 points here tonight and take that momentum into those last few games. So many on the road.
DJ Benton drifting one forward.
Mentioned Greenville also with a very tough road stretch down the. I can't say it tonight. Peyton. tough stretch down the. I'm giving up.
Not doing so is Dean Bolts, but he has finally lost out.
They don't have as many road games as Madison, but they do have some very, very tough road games at Knoxville, at Chattanooga, at Spokane. They have a couple of home games against Omaha and Tormenta, but those 3 road games, certainly 3 of the hardest in the league.
Get that out of your system?
Finally, I'm done.
Okay, there we go. Damia Villadere. Backing off, seeks Soto, and carving in a cross, high flying. Straight onto the forehead of Garrett McLaughlin, who glances out. McLaughlin making his 10th career appearance today against Greenville. He scored the 2 times, and he had a great chance to make it a 3rd.
Damia Villadere back in USL League One after so many years of tormenting Greenville during his time with Union Omaha. That's what he can do, push forward from that left wing back spot.
Villadere starting his 5th match in the last 6 as Rodrigo Robles will pop the flag up and miss the mark for good measure on the back end.
Yeah, it took Villadere quite a long time to break into this Madison starting 11, which I think may have surprised many people.
He is now leading the team in chances created after being acquired midstream. Previously partnering Matt Glazer when they both worked at Sacramento Republic. It is a brisk and bright day here in South Carolina. The Fox Carolina weather report, 75 degrees, nothing to really complain about.
Perfect soccer weather.
And Connor Evans agrees as he wins the ball, and hustling forward is Rodrigo Robles, who can't skirt the tackle of an overstretched Timmy Mail. Just left the ball dangling enough.
Yeah, perfectly timed challenge by Timmy Mail. Rodrigo Robles was off to the races. Man, with those long strides, pulled up quickly.
Connor Evans has taken a heavy touch and lost out to Aiden Macias. McLaughlin back to goal. Macias again. Just able to scratch out a pass wide. Chris Garcia. And it does appear that, despite maybe some speculation, at least on my part, that we would see Connor Evans at left back as we did against Hartford Athletic in the Jägermeister Cup semifinal. It is actually a shift to a back 3 to consolidate the loss of Zane Bubb today for Greenville. One to come.
We're wondering about what we were going to see from Mark Ward with that late change. Certainly some things they could have done. They could have brought Tyler Pollock in and stayed with the back four, which it looked like they had when we saw the initial starting 11. It does almost look like Zeke Soto playing on this right side wing back spot. Connor Evans floating around in the middle.
Chapo Herrera. He did not participate in the earlier meeting between these two teams, serving a red card suspension that he picked up against Westchester. And it's apparently a clean tackle, at least in the purview of Gerald Flores, who is our center official today.
Yeah, he made that universal, he got the ball signal. He's getting the ball. It's one of those law myths. I had one today in one of my games. He got the ball, ref. I said, yeah, but he clattered straight through him after getting the ball. Reckless is the word these days. Watch out. That was a little reckless there.
Papamentsa is taking one on the chops. Doubly important because they're still Greenville triumph without Leo Castro tonight. Papa seems in some significant discomfort. Here's the reason why.
Yeah, Jason Ramos, not a guy. Ooh, oh no, it's just the ball hit him in the face. Unlucky. Perhaps Ramos had caught him. Hopefully that's not Rapapa spitting out teeth.
Mark Ward might have an early decision to make. Papamentsa down and requiring extra medical attention. This is his first time taking the yoke of a senior side. Primary duties coming at the youth level prior to Greenville with Chattanooga Red Wolves.
He coached the U20s with Greenville, had a very successful season this year, losing only once. Also did the same thing in Chattanooga. So it's been a great learning curve. In his second season with Greenville as an assistant coach.
Papamentsa had the assist in the last match with forward Madison this year. If he cannot continue, it will not count against the substitution total for Greenville. It would be the head injury substitution activating that extra 6th spot to make a change, but Greenville already shorthanded. Things going from bad to worse, potentially.
Yeah, thankfully, at least in the games you and I have done, we haven't seen many of that head injury situation. Substitutions having to be used.
Chris Garcia, Madison settle into their tempo. Side that love to have the ball. And striking out from the back now. Jacob Krull, who I found out this week, preparation for this game, is one of 4 of the top 5 players in terms of all-time touches in USL League One that are featuring in this game. He leads that leaderboard.
Plenty of veteran League One talent. Lovely touch there.
Dashing into the box, McLaughlin the target. And it comes across his face and into the clutch. Gunther Rankenberg, who's back in goal today after Seth Torman was the one that was called upon to wear the #1 shirt last time out. Space for Connor Evans, who guides a ball into a channel. Rodrigo Robles. Ropapamensa's back on and with it. Shipman out of goal. It's saved. Traced down by Robles and out for what appears to be a corner kick.
Bernd Shipman's a lucky man there. He got caught in no man's land. Most goalkeepers would be trying to scramble back to get in between the pipes, but he just stood his ground in the end. You can see here he didn't know what to do. He just sort of stood there, made himself big. Ropapamensa, I'm not sure if he knew where Shipman was. Just smashed it right at him, but earned himself a corner.
Shipman had that excellent save last time out against Richmond Kickers to preserve a clean sheet. Landed him in the Team of the Week this week prior. Corner coming at the near post over the head of Fricky. Anthony Patti! And some scattered defending to clear it off the line. Looked like Shipman may have had it covered. Timmy Mail pushes it out of play for another corner kick.
That would have been a way to open the scoring for Anthony Patti. Make good contact too. Shipman would have had that covered.
Greenville at least raising an eyebrow in the first 10 minutes. Once more, Connor Evans, the league's leader in terms of chances created, trying to fashion another. Hoisted away by forward Madison. Siobhan Marsh with it. Chapa Herrera, straight into the point. Rodrigo Robles on a high arc, and Ropapamensa has bashed it home. A lights out start for the home side, 1-0.
Madison's back line will be kicking themselves for this one. Robles just had to just sort of hoof it up in the air. That's all he could do on this chance here because of the pace on this ball. And watch Madison's defenders just stand here and watch this. Nobody goes to the ball. Ropapamensa had a great view of it, anticipated where it was going to land and finished it off.
He's not scoring that goal a couple months ago. He is right now. Ropapamensa makes it 4 on the year and punches through to light the flares. He's found the beat. He's surpassed 5 box touches in each of the last 5 games, had only done that 3 times prior this year. An all-important touch to help that one home.
Yeah, what a crucial goal that could turn out to be. We all know how important first goals are in this league, which is so transition and set piece heavy. When you score that first goal, it seemed a little further back, maybe not this early in the game, but you have to take unnecessary risks, especially in the final third.
Important footnote in that goal-scoring action. Mitch Osmond, typically the organizer of this back 3 for forward Madison. He's out for the year with injury. Jason Ramos at the core of that unit, and it looked like the communication faltered in that instance. Madison trying to really put their opposition to the sword now. Or I should say Greenville.
Yeah, certainly one of the most stranger goals we've seen in USL League One this season because it was up in the air for so long. Well, somebody from Madison would have been able to get a head on it or something on it. And perhaps Bernd Shipman, mostly to blame for that, is the man that can get his hands up there and do something with it. He let everybody else think about doing something and didn't. It's almost with a good claim there.
Almost as if Madison thought it had traveled beyond the end line and was out of play and never did.
Listen, play to the whistle. It's one of the oldest things these players have learned from their under 8 days, I'm sure. Madison didn't do it there. They paid the price.
Foul is awarded. The goal is presented by YMCA. And up inactive straight away, Ropapa-Mensah.
It was one of those runs for Ropapa-Mensah that 99 out of 100 times you make that run and don't get anything, don't find yourself at the end of it, but at that time, that's why you make them. For that one time that it turns into what could be a massive goal.
This is his 9th consecutive start, trying to fill the shoes of Leo Castro, who had been the club's leading goal scorer all time as he positioned himself earlier this year, but in this season as well.
As I mentioned earlier, Castro dealing with a toe injury now for a number of weeks. Back to full training this week, but Greenville making the decision not to include him in the 18 tonight. Pick up 3 points here. What an addition he would be down the stretch.
Greenville won't feel fully comfortable though. And ahead early against Portland Hearts of Pine only a couple matches ago. Weren't able to keep grip of their advantage on that day. Gerald Flores requested another intervention as he's given foul. Rebecca Luther and Aaron Riley are the linos today. So Pexanar is the 4th.
Yeah, you mentioned won't be comfortable with this 1-0 lead, especially with some of the firepower available on Madison's bench, including 2 former Greenville Triumph players, Devin Boyce and Nico Brown. Faraday Sosa scored the winner last week. We know what Derek Gebhardt and Juan Calindres can do.
And everything does start to get treated much more like win or go home type of atmosphere this time of year, especially given the particular predicament that both these teams are currently facing. I wonder how much Greenville sits off. Not much, apparently. Siobhan Marsh, aimed for by Connor Evans. Gathered by first Chris Garcia and then Timmy Mail. Greenville have been effectively touch tight with their marking.
2 other games tonight in USL League One. We'll obviously keep you abreast of situations in those 2. Richmond and Charlotte going at it right now. Richmond just behind both of these 2 sides. They could vault themselves right back into the playoff mix if they can win that one in wet City Stadium. I know they've been getting a ton of rain there today. And later on tonight, AV Alta against Tormento, who suddenly found their form under Mark McKeever.
Feels like the race is wide open. It is that wonderful time of year where not any team has been fully eliminated from inclusion into the playoffs. Every game feels like they have a degree of stakes and intrigue, including this one.
Well, there can be a playoff spot clinched tomorrow. Maybe Alta playing tonight, as we mentioned, they're sitting in that currently in that 8th spot. So these 2 teams would love to be since they've had a win out west.
Free kick coming here. Prepping a free kick forward Madison. Ball in. And beamed away by Ropapa-Mensah. It will dribble out for a corner kick. Madison starting to make their first attacking incursion. Damia Villadere will make the long run to retrieve this and hoist in. They've only scored on one corner this year. They won't score here. Chris Garcia, a bit aimless, but finds a soft spot in the box, and once more is met by PJ Benton to take it clear. It's another corner kick, this time from the opposite flag, so Damia Villadere is doing plenty of running. The ball's not in play.
Yeah, always been a great set-piece striker with that left foot, Villadere. Garcia will take this one with his right foot, though. Some big targets there, Ramos, Mail, and Kroll.
Wingbacks trading responsibility. Well, Papa Mensah, the point of difference. 18 minutes gone. Muscled in. Sent sailing by Chapa Herrera. Evan Lee will golf the ball high. A useful first touch, and the break is brewing. Siobhan Marsh in behind. Flying in formation, Greenville triumph, a heavy touch. A heroic tackle. Siobhan Marsh showing too much of the ball to the defender. And Burton Shipman, his service is not required there.
Yeah, Marsh with his pace. If he had a better touch, you'd think he would have been in. I think he was looking for the ball a little more ahead of him from Robles. It was a perfect ball, that touch just let him down. Great recovery, as you said. Payne, I think from, was it Timmy Mel or Murphy? I couldn't really tell.
Playing Marsh got caught in two minds of whether he would take the first touch tight or open his body so that the ball would run him a little bit wider for maybe a better angle to finish. Nonetheless, the chance eludes Greenville there. Probably one of the best counterattacks we've seen from Triumph all year, though.
It was pretty. Some great one-touch stuff. Well, had their moments in transition this season, but not enough of them, I would say.
Unable to keep it, Rodrigo Robles, who takes a harsh fall. May have hit a hand, but they allowed to continue. Siobhan Marsh. Options all about. Now he's hacked down by Ramos, who has not been able to avoid the booking. He will be the first name taken. Jason Ramos will sit on a yellow card for the next 70 minutes.
And a bit of post-foul shenanigans. Anthony Patty getting involved. Interesting enough, another heavy touch from Marsh. As we'll see here, almost got him in trouble again, but ended up earning him the foul, as that wasn't the most pretty of tackles from Jason Ramos. Just took a big swing at the Jamaican. And now another chance for Connor Evans to supply a good ball in.
So Connor Evans, a chance to really stir some havoc. As Greenville sow the seeds of another attacking advance with a dead ball coming. Zane Bum mustered 2 shots last game. They do not have his big head to aim for. Rodrigo Robles is just kind of lurking off the right shoulder of the wall. Damia Villadere will skirt out to meet him. It was a direct approach there, and Soto will try it once more, and always rising on its path to goal. Download the FanSaves app and follow the Triumph for access to exclusive deals, your favorite restaurants and breweries. So after the early commotion, Greenville able to catch forward Madison asleep at the wheel a little bit defensively. What have you made from the first half of this first half, practically come and gone so far?
Now it's been helter-skelter. Fun stuff, especially down the Greenville end. Looking for that second goal. Siobhan Marsh certainly could have had it just a couple of minutes ago. Madison looking to try and get some consistency down in the final third here. Hasn't been much going on down that end.
Soto losing out. Ball is gifted right back, robbed by Rodrigo Robles. Robles leaving it for Siobhan Marsh. Takes a spill, but no call ever coming. Dean Bolch, recently acquired via loan from Chicago Fire, doing his best to maintain it. Snatched by Connor Evans. And Evan Lee has lost out on the foot race. And a blazing ball off the foot of DJ Benton. This is real anarchy between two teams that are fighting tooth and nail.
Madison, just a one touch in Greenville's box so far, halfway through this first half. Matt Glazer won't be pleased about that because they have been creating the chances this year. As he's mentioned in our chat, just haven't been able to put the ball in the back of the net when they've needed. Obviously, the injuries have really hurt at times.
Damia Villader, ball overhead. Checking is McLaughlin. Helping in defense is Zeke Soto, and it will be a corner kick.
Fifth total corner so far already. Third for Madison.
Greenville were the best defensive units in these situations a year ago. Not quite as sturdy. It has not been a bleeding point, though, this season. Ball in. Slammed high, and King will chase it down. Part of that lone army forward Madison have deployed this year to steady the ship. With all the injuries, Gunther Rankenberg will catch in stride. USL on the CBS Sports Network continues in September with championship Eastern Conference rivals battling to stay in the playoff hunt. It's Indy 11 that take on Birmingham Legion FC. That's tomorrow, September 21st at 5 p.m. Eastern on the CBS Sports Network.
And you mentioned the loanees. We talked to Matt Glazer about that situation midweek. 7 or 8 key injuries they've had. He says you never really planned for bringing guys in. They've got some free loans where they haven't been paying the salaries, and ownership's been great about bringing guys in. Obviously, they managed to keep the locker room happy as well when you bring in guys in that haven't been there from the start.
Big thing for Matt Glazer is how the group has remained together. A lot of the times when there's this much turnover in a season, there's this natural oil and water separation that can happen between the established guys and the new guys. Here's one of the established. McLaughlin's in. It's come with a ricochet off Rankenberg. There's some claim that that was handled outside the area. Referee not to make that decision. It would have been defining.
Certainly looked like Rankenberg might have got an arm on it, but referee Flores was there. Had a great view of it. McLaughlin was pretty insistent that it had hit. Let's have another look at it here. Well, maybe it hit him on the knee. Second look like got Rankenberg on the right knee.
Some fast thinking from the goalkeeper.
Always a risk getting the ball at that height where it could potentially be seen to have hit a hand or an arm. I will say McLaughlin was the only one appealing.
He's had a bit of a breakout season, Rankenberg. It's his first year as the mainstay starter. Hasn't been able to post a clean sheet in his last 8 appearances, though. Damia Villader skipping wide, and it really didn't do much to draw the interest of Gunther Rankenberg beyond a tacit dive. Will be a goal kick.
Still 0-0 in Richmond, but Darwin Espinal's missed a penalty. That could be a key one in there. Slim hopes of making the playoffs, but Charlotte are playing right now. They'll take it. 4 straight losses for them coming into this one. And sliding down the table as well. Only 1 point above, well, actually 3 points above the playoff line. 1 point above Omaha and Alta, and 7th and 8th. Remember the days with Charlotte, we're up there riding high. Things can change in this league in a heartbeat.
Speaking of heartbeats, Portland Hearts of Pine playing as well as anybody. Massive clash tomorrow with FC Naples. The teams in the division that are playing the best in terms of the hot streak.
Portland with a couple of games in hand. Many teams in League One.
And they do feel a little bit closer to maybe that top 4 fight than they do the playoff line because of that fact.
Games in hand aren't points in hand, though. As any seasoned soccer fan will tell you, you've got to turn them into points, otherwise it's a waste.
Sliding wide from ACS. And all the way wide for Villadere, who's encroaching. Damia Villadere hooking in across. And hit hard towards goal, but not with accuracy.
He was waiting for that one to fall nicely to him, just couldn't keep it down.
Isaac and King, who has now started 5 for the last 5, I should say. Had a brace the last time he played outside the state of Wisconsin. That was against AV Alta. Wild draw on that one.
Playing a little more centrally tonight. We have seen him play in the past. There's stuff to the right usually.
He's coming from Rhode Island FC, where he got a little bit of tread on the tires early in the year, but had fallen out of the picture. DJ Benton has not put that where he wanted. It's won well by Damia Villadere. Be able to secure a throw for his side.
As high up as these wing-backs play for Matt Glazer, it allows the likes of Van King and Bolts to pinch in and support Garrett McLaughlin.
Both teams yelping for handball, and at the end of all that, it will be a throw. Visit shoptriumph.com. Check out the latest merch and kit launches. A snappy new jumper. I think that's what they call it in your neck of the woods, correct?
They do. The last time I used that word, I've been here so long now. It's a sweater or a hoodie. Cardigan. Do they have cardigans in America? I think they do.
A trackie?
We saw the Triumph fans coming out in the trackie. Yeah, the shell suit, the old 90s shell suit. I remember begging my parents for one of those back in the mid-80s.
DJ Benton with a nervous bit of headed clearing. It does come back to him though. Now Zeke Soto, who's been very active after being that late add to the starting 11 today. Half an hour gone. Madison yet to really truly test the target.
Shots for the visitors. Not on target so far, as you mentioned, Pete. Still only 2 touches in the opposition's box. Looked a little lost when they get to that final third. Giveaways like that. It's not the first one of the night either.
Chapa Herrera, Ropapa Mensah on his right. Ropapa Mensah! Easy breezy, it's a brace for Ropapa Mensah, who finishes mercilessly in the face of goal and extends the lead.
Madison finally punished for one of those giveaways in the middle of the park. Herrera waiting for Ropapa Mensah to, I thought he was going to take a touch here, but he said forget about it. Just smashes it past Shipman inside the far post. Haven't seen this enough from Mensah this season. That's a superb strike. Double the lead for Greenville. Madison all over the place.
Catastrophically calm in the wake. He expected himself to score and he didn't let himself down. That goal brought to you by Ropapa Mensah, brought to you by YMCA and Greenville. As good as they have felt in some weeks and months.
Certainly looked the better side here in the first half an hour. Yeah, the team that have come in with 4 straight losses in USL League One play. And Madison looking like that at the moment. Just silly giveaways in the middle of the park.
This game effectively started with Ropapa Mensah catching a free ball in the face. Fortunately for forward Madison, it seems they've woken the big guy up. Siobhan Marsh, hungry for more, a last-ditch intervention. Keeps it out of harm's way.
And the ball almost was from Brendan Fricky. For his long ball deliveries. we didn't mention earlier, Toby Sims is, though. He's not out again tonight.
Yellow card, Zeke Soto for the drag back. It was hot on the heels of Damia Villadere and closed too quickly. Villadere, the wily vet, pushed right past him.
And Zeke Soto wasn't supposed to start this match. Playing wing back tonight, I'm sure he didn't expect that either.
Greenville have ensured their lead and added a second. Madison trying to bite back. Not all the way clear and helplessly helps back to Michael Rankenberg. There is Biteless from a head shaking. Garrett McLaughlin, who knows he probably should have done a little bit better there.
He was in a tough spot. Would have been hard to get enough pace on that header. It's early trouble going to Rankenberg with the way it just kind of bounced back to him.
Efficiency has been the biggest problem, though, for forward Madison this year. They have averaged just south of 13 shots. That's what it's taken them to score a goal this year. It is the most of any team in USL League One by a wide gulf. They have taken 2.2 shots more on average to score a goal than any other team in the league. The other team being Greenville Triumph, and those are the only two that have required at least 10 shots per goal this year. That is a long bit of parlance to say, quite frankly, too many shots, not enough goals. And Ropapa Mensah, who's already scored 2, is looking for a third. Mensah is cross-blocked on the way. And skipping out for a throw.
When Mensah struck that, it almost looked like he was trying to beat Shipman near post, struck it with some venom. Goal in Richmond. Charlotte have taken the lead, 10 minutes left in the first half. First one in what seems like forever.
Knocked down by Robles. Hooked into Ropapa Mensah. And putting pause to it is Burn Shipman. Seemed like he might have been able to catch that, but instead he puts it out for a corner. And that's an important note, as this forward Madison team have been hit hard from the corner flag this year. They've conceded 5 times. Third most in USL League One.
Mensah just finding himself. He's feeling the rhythm now. Finding open spots. I didn't think that ball was going to reach him. He got enough power on the header to make Shipman palm it away for a corner.
Connor Evans. Body down in the box. Greenville go again. Siobhan Marsh. Ducking away from one tackle. The ball has stayed in the field. 10 minutes to the end of the half. Can Greenville put their opponent really and truly on the canvas with a third before they reach that mark? Spotting in is Ropapa Mensah, who's held away from the ball well by Jacob Krull.
Job by Kroll there, because he certainly could have lost his balance, and Mensah would have been in with a great chance of a hat-trick. It was a nice ball.
Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DNA, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. Select matches will be available in Spanish throughout the rest of the season at USLChampionship.com. Complete USL TV listings. Now, we are told that Rick Wright had a couple of different plans that he might execute for how to take in this match. It's only the second red card of his entire career as a player or a coach. That includes his time as an assistant. Plan A was Myrtle Beach. Watched the game from some distance because there was some rule that they may have found that you had to be exactly 230 or so miles away from the ground. That's the excuse he used. The other one was on this superhero night, that he would come to the ground and sneak in. And given he doesn't need to do this, there's nothing that excludes him from being in the venue, but his plan was he would sneak in dressed as Darth Vader at his superhero night. His wife told him, though, that if he dressed as Spider-Man, that might be a little bit unflattering to his figure.
That was after he told her she couldn't go to Charleston. She had that planned, I think, already. Richmond have equalized. I'm sure both of these teams would love that Richmond-Charlotte game to finish as a draw.
Wright might have that open on his iPhone, a luxury afforded to him wouldn't be there for him if he were in the technical area.
We didn't double check the USL League One communication rules, which obviously in the League's Cup they were brought up because
I knew you were going to go there.
Team on the phone.
Another team wearing pink, perhaps?
Perhaps.
That might be the only thing that Javier Mascherano and Rick Wright could possibly have in common.
So the kids walking in with the Triumph players in their capes tonight.
Dribbling back to Rankenberg, who has to come and sweep up, as you were saying.
So Papa Mensah certainly looking up to live up to his superhero goal-scoring character tonight so far.
Mensah has been the main man, and King flashes in a shot that, with a glance, will come out of play for what appears to be another corner kick.
Like it hit Garrett McLaughlin, but managed to hit a Triumph player instead. My eyesight deceiving me. McLaughlin, I think, was just getting out of the way of it, perhaps. Corner of the night for the visitors.
Our score of this game has been 0-0 more commonly than any fixture in USL League One. It has happened 4 times. That will not be the case tonight. It will require a goal fest for Madison or to get anything from it. It was put into a dangerous spot, but he's jabbed away, and Evan Lee will have to watch it go for a throw-in. That belongs to his team, apparently.
Darwin Espinal making up for his missed penalty with the equalizer for Richmond, answering former Madison man Christian Cheney's goal. For Charlotte.
Inching to the edge of the final couple minutes of this first half. It was late on in the first half that Mikel Rashid scored the first for South Georgia. Greenville hoping history does not repeat itself with that late lapse in focus. Sloping down the far side. Contested by both Marsh and Patti. Off the head of Fricky. Down by Villader. Fumbled away by Bolts. Get a second bite at the cherry. DJ Benton cues away again. Kroll. Madison really putting the pressure on, and DJ Benton has sent that as far as he can. Enough's enough.
If in doubt, hoof it out, they say. That ball was a hoof and a half from DJ Benton. So now drifting out to the left a little bit. Nicholas and Lee giving him a little break from the press in the center of the park.
If there were any questions about the formation and how the late admission of Zane Bubb might influence things, things are going well for Greenville Triumph at this point.
Yeah, certainly the best half we've seen from them in quite a bit. Composed, so 2 great finishes. Hammer here for these last 5 minutes. Madison have the talent. As we know, here they come.
Rolling wide is Chris Garcia, who rocks it high.
Snatched at it.
That ball sent skyward. That ball is a Select ball, and Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. From the Academy to the big league, Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select. Player choice. It was not a choice finish there, though, from Chris Garcia. Chris Garcia, who was teammates with Chapa Herrera, the Paso Locomotive. So far, Chapa, with an assist, is the one who will be smiling at the end of the game. Madison have seriously struggled at the end of halves this year. Teak Soto trying to add some woe to the misery that they've already had. Robles. And snatching at it is Timmy Mail. She turns it out of play. Soccer season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats. Rick Wright enjoying his particular vantage on the night as he is in the crowd. Side 2 goals to the good. Connor Evans sharpening the blade again. Over the head of Mensah, onto the head of Patti. I don't think he even knew anything about that, but nearly met the mark.
There's a handful of Madison players who looked like they were going to get their head to this one before it reached Patti. He was a good couple of yards behind him, though. He should have done better. See the head of the hands tells you he agrees. Second shot tonight, though, after the bicycle kick earlier. Someone we're used to seeing getting much action in the opposition box.
Started consecutive games for the first time this season against Hartford and then South Georgia. 3 on the skip for him now. He's done quite well tonight. Odd advance from Chris Garcia here or there, but nothing much to report from Madison on the offensive end.
Just not going to be particularly happy heading into the locker room. This team have played so far in this one, there's certainly not a ton of urgency for a team that could find themselves behind Greenville. Things don't go their way here tonight.
Just seems as if there's not been much snap in the play from forward Madison. That connectivity, that rhythm that they so often have with the ball, not been present on the night. Greenville have been the profiteer of that fact as well.
Last weekend against Richmond, ton of touches, ton of chances. Just had to wait a long time for that late goal by Ferdy Sosa. What a big goal that was.
Massive. Unfortunately, though, for forward Madison, they've not been able to compound that upward flow into anything meaningful today. This is the time of year where 3 points feel like 10. Greenville, when they've had to have it, maybe put in their best performance in the first 45 the last couple of months. Of course, that first half is not done. Waiting on stoppage time. Opening up for it is Murphy. It is 3 minutes, which for Madison could make use. Swaggering into the attack, Jacob Krull. One team has only lost once when these two have gotten together in the past, in Greenville, keeping true to trends as it currently sits. Dean Bolts dropping awful deep to get a sniff of the ball.
Yeah, isn't that much to do in this first half? And you call his name maybe once before that touch there.
We're excited to get their hands on him. Forward Madison playing collegiately in the state at Wisconsin. High draft pick in the MLS Super Drafts by Chicago Fire. Luca Dorado desperately in need of some final product from somewhere. Of course, former Greenville man Devin Boyce is on the bench today. He has been the primary creator for forward Madison these last couple of years. Has dealt with injury this season. Bit of a bump. Foul is awarded, but it's for simulation against forward Madison, and the break is on. Siobhan Mars left behind him, but he wills his way through and then clipped out for a throw. Madison look all out of sorts.
Yeah, so it's just shocking, really, knowing how much is riding on this game. Referee Flores players here perhaps coming over to have a chat with Matt Glazer or somebody else on the Madison bench. Somebody over there got a yellow card.
It appears a yellow card, yes, in confirmation was shown to somebody in the Madison dugout. I'm sure arguing that at least the initial foul that came against Madison, and then the quick restart. Connor Evans in. And flowing into the gloves of Burn Shipman.
Too much to complain about in this first half. Referee Flores has let a lot of stuff go both ways. That's just overall frustration spilling over. Sometimes how it goes, you gotta blame somebody. Sometimes it ends up being the man in the middle.
DJ Benton with a high header. And a nightmarish half for forward Madison. We'll come to what appears nearly its conclusion.
There's an offside call, late offside call on Madison, coming back from an offside position. Should be the last kick of the game there from Rankenberg. He hasn't had much to do in this first half.
So we are beyond the 3 minutes given, but Gunther Rankenberg will give it one last hit. And that's just for the bookkeeper. And so, Madison head to the locker room with much to think about, as maybe the action will spill over beyond the 45 minutes.
Flores with his book out again. Let's see what sparked that issue, though. Madison just frustrated at the situation they find themselves in and lashing out at somebody. Champa Herrera getting involved. Douglas in there as well. Matt Glazer coming in to calm things down a bit.
These two teams did not depart on the best of terms after some refereeing controversy the last time they got together. It is a tough one to take for forward Madison after 45 minutes. They find themselves 2 goals to lesser to Greenville triumph at the curtain fall. Halftime coverage coming to you when we return. Greenville 2, forward Madison 0.
Dance like nobody's watching. Except when people are watching, like your roommate and the new boyfriend you forgot she was bringing over. Believe in yourself. But know your limits, because right before an interview really isn't the time to try being a hairstylist. Anything is possible. So yes, winning is possible. But so is not winning, which means sometimes the best way to play actually is to save some possibility for another day. The South Carolina Education Lottery, supporting better players and a better you.
At Johnston Orthodontics, we combine art and science to create your perfect smile. After a thorough exam with x-rays and digital models, we design custom aligners tailored just for you. With our on-site 3D resin printer, these designs come to life, ensuring a perfect fit every time. Ready to tame your smile? Call us today at Johnston Orthodontics.
At Piedmont Natural Gas, being a part of the communities we serve is important to us, because to us, community begins with you. We strive to address the needs of our communities by investing time and resources to help improve the quality of life for our customers. For over 60 years, we have funded programs that support education, the environment, and community impact. Our Energy Assistance Program, Share the Warmth, helps customers pay their energy bills. We're committed to helping our neighbors by powering the vitality of our communities.
There's a new airline in town. Breeze Airways has arrived at GSP International Airport with nonstop flights to 5 cities nationwide. Enjoy low fares, no change or cancellation fees, and convenient nonstop service. Make your next trip seriously nice on Breeze Airways. Visit flybreeze.com to book your flight from GSP today.
Back from the break and a chance to take a look around the USL League One landscape. A good peek behind the curtain. The Dirigo Union of Portland Hearts of Pine, as well as the transfer happenings around the league. Coming to you now.
They're not here by accident. It's not by chance.
you only get one chance to make a first impression.
The game day environment is unlike anything I've experienced. It's loud, it's authentically Maine.
Even if the supporter doesn't play on the pitch, we fight together.
Don't get many opportunities to be a part of something brand new. We do have a responsibility to set the foundation.
People are coming here because they know soccer and they want to watch.
When Nick Marcanic arrived at Charleston Battery in 2023, he had no idea what his future would hold. But after a 28-goal Golden Boot regular season in 2024, Marcanic was on the radar. A six-figure transfer to Castellón in Spain's second division. A financial win for USL. One of many overseen by Oliver Wiss, USL's head of global football development and sporting director.
All around the globe, guys are moving all directions.
It's perfect timing. Literally a few days ago, the global transfer summer window closed. New records, $9.76 billion spent. Alone $3 billion in England spent. So USL is a very small part of it, but obviously part of my goal is to make USL a bigger part of it.
You see these things come across your desk. What are the steps to take it from that phone call to a deal happening?
Well, I think it's, first and foremost, it's negotiating a good deal, a proper transfer that is obviously a transfer fee, that is a future sell-on, which is very important, which some of our players are getting out in our clubs in the return, and then it's good incentives. So structuring a proper transfer deal is the key to a successful return of investment on player development.
Give me some of the big ones you've seen and some of the quality that's out there overseas, for instance.
I think you have to do the two records that started with the Weinman brothers, right? One going to Benfica, Josh and Elijah going to the LA Galaxy for record-breaking fees. Josh over $1 million. But then we have follow-ups like Fidel Barajas, where there was also a secondary when you moved from Charleston to RSL and then into Chivas Guadalajara, which gave a big return. We have the likes of Correa Osandina, right, that went to Feyenoord and now at Casapia. But now we just had another recent very good one with Mamadou Chang that went obviously from Hartford Athletic into went to Minnesota United. Good transfer fee, and I'm sure there will be secondary transfer fee that everyone will benefit off.
Who might be next? The rumor mills could churn for USL players at any time. And the next transfer window begins January 2026.
What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water unique? It's our commitment to making our bottles from at least 50% recycled plastic. In fact, Crystal Geyser is the only beverage company in the U.S. to exclusively own and operate 2 plastic recycling facilities. And you can help us make an impact too by always remembering to recycle your bottles. Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Simple, but not easy.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
What exactly is a Sully steamer? Our sandwiches are made to order, which means once you've taken a look at our big menu and narrowed down your options, we go to work. Our sandwiches are stuffed with fresh, flavorful ingredients and then placed in our special steamer until the sandwich gets warm and soft and fuses all the flavors together to achieve the peak of tastiness. Are you hungry yet?
Update Spine and Sport halftime report, and it's good tidings for Greenville Triumph. Find themselves a couple goals out in front of forward Madison. As for the news and notes from around the USL League One, Ross, it's Chris Garcia, or Javier Garcia, I should say, who's been so good in goal for Texoma as of late, a pair of penalty saves last week.
Yeah, listen, once you start saving penalties, you get more confident. I think you can save all of them as a goalkeeper myself. Not that I saved all my penalties ever, but yeah, great to see Garcia keep it. Listen, I'm always rooting for the keeper, Pete.
As for Greenville Triumph, a good response so far after that tough one to take at the hands of South Georgia Tormenta last weekend.
No, for sure. What a great first half for the Triumph. We'll get to the stats of this game in a little bit here. And yeah, Naples, 10 matches unbeaten now. Start to climb up this table again. They got off such a great start. They had a bit of a funk, but now looking for a home quarterfinal perhaps.
And again, they will be up against a Portland Hearts of Pine team that has, in their own right, been unbeaten in their last 6. As for the present tense, the scores from around the division, as things starting to shape up today. The late show, AV Alta on a bit of a skid against South Georgia Tormenta. We're on the climb, and at the half, Charlotte Independence did find a second goal. It is 2-1.
Yeah, Bashir Jai with the second goal for Charlotte, looking to end their winless streak. As for Tormenta, the result of that game could have impacts on tomorrow and Chattanooga potentially clinching.
The road to hoe for the two teams we see tonight coming to you now, as those halftime scores were presented by Upstate Spine and Sport, and trying to get on the straight and narrow are Greenville Triumph, and this is the Murderers Row they will immediately face against the previous champions, Union Omaha, and the two teams that are sitting top of the table.
Yeah, it definitely has to be one of the toughest run-ins for any team in the USL League One. Spokane and Chattanooga sitting atop the table, and obviously a long road trip that is to Washington, then closing out at Knoxville, who are never easy to beat on their own park.
For Madison, the next 5 games will feature a lot of away dates. As we told you already, there's plenty of road to cover for these Mingos. We'll start at Westchester, a two-step of the Northeast.
Yeah, if they can't find at least a point tonight, that Westchester game certainly a must-win with how they've struggled this season up in the Northeast. And a fun trip to Portland against Chattanooga at Omaha, and then closing with a trip to Richmond.
One last playing of the Henny Derby for forward Madison. Both those teams in that point of the season will certainly need the points. And so it goes toward the second half. We move Greenville Triumph 2, forward Madison 0. We will see if the Mingos have the late show on tap. When we return, 6-pointer continues after this.
Just breathe. Just breathe. Breathe. Woo! Let's take this thing higher. Higher than you ever been. Stand tall like Everest. I mean higher. You ain't gotta settle in. Go places they never been. We go higher. Non-stop. Take it to the top even when the ball drops. My man, we go higher. Woo! Let's take this thing. Non-stop. It's time to go higher.
Welcome to Wood Creek Dental, where dental care is a family tradition. For over 40 years, we're proud to be a family-owned practice, serving the community of Greenville, South Carolina. Our experienced dentists and dedicated staff are committed to your oral health. Experience the difference for yourself. Wood Creek Dental. Dental care, from our family to yours.
Every day, we get the privilege to serve you, sharing local stories on all your screens.
The first alert on breaking news sent through the Fox Carolina News app.
Serving you with the earliest heads up on storms through the Fox Carolina First Alert weather app.
Live and on-demand newscasts.
Fox Carolina Investigations.
On your streaming TV.
Your stories told right here. Fox Carolina News.
I'm Rick Wright, head coach of the Greenville Triumph Soccer Club. The Triumph play here on Palmetto Sports and Entertainment.
Watch using antenna on channel 21.2 or on Spectrum 703. The Greenville Triumph Play Here. Palmetto Sports.
El Greenville Triumph y Liberty están orgullosos de asociarse con Telemundo Carolina del Sur. Vean Telemundo Carolina del Sur para mantenerte informado con noticias locales en español y disfrutar de toda la increíble programación de Telemundo. Disponible gratis con antena en el canal 31.1.
Second half is afoot, and Greenville have a 2-goal lead to protect as we move towards a recap of that first half. DoubleTree, presenting sponsor of tonight's game. It's been one that has gone well for the home team. Greenville Triumph. Here's how they got those 2 goals, and it is by the same man. Papa Mensah, and what was the most Rodrigo Robles assist to ever be assisted, latching on through the crowd and diving one home at point blank.
Yeah, Robles just sort of hooked this one back across, hopefully. Somebody trying to get on the end of it. Rapapa Mensah did. Timmy Mel was standing there, as was Ramos, both looking at each other, saying, I thought you were going to get it. And Rapapa Mensah said, thank you very much. Did the gritty. Gave his team a 1-0 win.
Typical Rodrigo Robles finish. In fashion, always one touch. Set the smokes off early. Rapapa Mensah still hungry for more, though. He's lost some pounds. His appetite was right and ready as he stepped into the box and struck home with conviction.
Yeah, Chapo Herrera with the turnover in the middle of the park. Rolled it down nicely. Saw the run from Mensah. As you see, he was right in front of Chapo Herrera. Went out to the right, bang! No chance for Burton Shipman. Confident man and a confident strike there.
Stats from that first half tell the exact story you just saw bear out. Greenville, much less of the ball. 5 shots on target, though. That is a high level of accuracy.
Yeah, Matt Glazer has some work to do at halftime. I certainly want one of them in that locker room in front of that big man. I'm sure he had plenty of things to say to his crew in 45 minutes to try and rescue this contest.
Back into the fray. For Madison, Greenville Triumph. They've seen much of each other down the years. Greenville taking all they would have wanted from that first half. Matt Glazer would have had choice words for his bunch in pink. In the dressing room, as we swing on into the second half. It is with playoff import that these two teams will scrap across the next 45 minutes to find themselves at the finish line first. Peyton Gallagher with Ross Davenport bring you across the action here. For Madison in need of immediate revival. No halftime substitutions from either side. A little bit surprising for forward Madison, as that was left too narrow as Anthony Patti steps in to intercept.
Yeah, I don't think Matt Glazer will wait too long, though, if things don't improve here early in the second half. I mentioned earlier, plenty of offensive talent on the bench. What is Burnt Shipman doing? My word.
Rapapa Mensah punctuates a hat trick. It's a disaster for Madison. And in those smithereens, it's Rapapa Mensah dancing. Namaste.
Well, speaking of substitutions, Matt Glazer might be tempted as a goalkeeper himself to make a change between the pipes at this point. That was absolutely embarrassing from Burnt Shipman. The ball was played back. He just has to put a foot on this and clear it out under pressure from Mensah. Tries a bit of fancy footwork and hands Rapapa Mensah a hat-trick. My word.
Rapapa Mensah's night. He worked a lot harder for the first 2 goals, but he will take the third by any means necessary. And for Greenville, the smile gets even wider. YMCA, the presenter of that goal, on a historic night for Rapapa Mensah, who with his 3rd tally has certainly cemented himself as a fan favorite here in South Carolina. Burnt Shipman is ailing.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the back pass, I think it was from Jason Ramos, didn't do Burnt Shipman any favors, but he waited too long, didn't come out, just try and put a foot on it, waited. Rapapa Mensah with the pressure and the goal, and now Matt Glazer might be forced into a substitution. Wallace Lapsley, obviously very capable backup goalkeeper, showed that at the League One level.
Rapapa Mensah in his career had only scored 2 goals against forward Madison in 6 tries. He has 3 in 46 minutes tonight. And they are warming up. Wallace Lapsley who is no slouch in his own regard. Saw him with Union Omaha last year. He is on 6 occasions played live minutes, once off the bench this year for forward Madison. First choice keeper at the beginning of the campaign, with Shipman trying to work back up to fitness after an offseason injury. He will step into a very precarious position if he is called upon now.
Shipman's trying to walk it off. Thumbs up. Looks like he might be ready to, trying to give it a go. All right. Not his finest moment as a professional, that's for sure. Unfortunately, he can't help down the other end.
He'd come off the backside of what had been his longest drought for clean sheets, with forward Madison as their goalkeeper. Went 9 straight from May to July and was starting to play much better. 6 clean sheets on the year now. Had one in his last game against Richmond, but it's come undone in a big way today.
Yeah, Matt Glazer was talking about improvements that Burnt has made this midweek, working with him on standing up and being a little more hard to beat.
Kind of astonishing, the lack of focus that we've seen from forward Madison today, especially given the stakes and the way they had been playing in recent weeks.
Especially against the team that's came into tonight right behind you in the standings and now would be above you. Just a little bit shocking.
Mac Glazer team's almost universally well prepared. Organized, routined, and rhythmic has been the opposite of true tonight.
I mentioned Greenville, all the losses in a row, changing coaching with Rick Wright being suspended, a late change at center back, going from 4 to 3 at the back. And it's almost been the reverse reaction you would have thought would be both teams would have had to that.
Greenville have been eagle-eyed from the outset tonight. Seems as if they understood that a little bit more was going to be required of them on the evening. They were going to have to raise their level. DJ Benton is the one who's struggling.
Mark Moore did say that the energy had been great in training this week, and that he'd been seeing, the quote was, he'd been seeing things from guys that they've been waiting to see. It was just a little more confidence in the final third, and Rapapa-Mensah showed that tonight. Being the Rapapa-Mensah we'd seen back in his Chattanooga days.
They've been waiting for him all year to really step up. He's been playing much better. Came in a little bit overweight. That was the quote from the coaching staff. He also came in late. It took him some time to get him in country and get him involved. Sean Marsh, his former Chattanooga Red Wolves teammate, is toppled and fouled by Chris Garcia.
Sean Marsh maybe bailed out a little bit there. Chris Garcia disagreeing with the decision from referee Flores, and perhaps rightly so. Marsh's touch was heavy and he sort of went down in a heap looking for the foul and got it.
Justin rounding out though on Rapapa-Mensah. It feels like this has been coming. Sean Marsh has his cross blocked out. Finished last year quite hot as well. He scored 3 goals in his final 6 games for Chattanooga. More to come. Cut clear. Second entry towards the box. Connor Evans putting a knee to it. Doing his ready best to try and win it back. He's gone to ground. Contact occurred in the box, so if foul had been given against Madison, would have been a penalty. He said it's just a quick restart from Murphy. Another faulty giveaway in their own end from forward Madison. Murphy's come in with the tackle. No time like the present to start the comeback effort for forward Madison. Ball ahead. Chris Garcia off the chest. Fricky has blotted him out.
And Fricky just standing his ground, not going to ground. big man to go around. As Garcia just found out.
Robles, pursuit, doesn't catch up. He plugs the ball in behind though. And turning down, playing the ball back to his goalkeeper is Ramos. Oh, that's shifty. Crafty bit of dribbling from Garrett McLaughlin, but nothing more than a throw. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157, the new Sirius XM app. If you were listening to this game in a hypothetical universe on Sirius XM FC, you would have heard the name Ropapa-Mensah a lot. The headline tonight, if you're just now joining up with us, hat-trick from the big man. Ghanaian leading the line for Greenville. And 3 might not be enough for him. On the break, Connor Evans, Ropapa-Mensah. Chapa Herrera, steadying first touch, but able to slip through on the second for Evan Lee, and Chris Garcia away.
There's only one man has 4 goals in the USL League One match. That was Liam McKinnon.
He played for Greenville.
He did, and then went off to the USL Championship, where unfortunately season-ending Achilles injury as Ropapa-Mensah's down. Charlotte taking a 3-1 lead against Richmond in the second half there.
Of course, this game effectively started with Ropapa-Mensah taking the ball off the face and receiving medical attention. And he requires more here.
Into his right knee.
Ropapa-Mensah's second career hat-trick, the first coming against Central Valley Fuego last season in USL League One play, ties him for the all-time mark of 2 for a career in USL League One, with Trevor Ammon among many others. I believe Liam McKinnon is also party to that group. It is a club of 5 as Ropapa comes to the touchline if his day is done. Ronaldo Thomas and Evan Conway, as well as the aforementioned Liam McKinnon and Trevor Ammett, and now Ropapa-Mensah.
Looking off a little gingerly here alongside Isabella Westcoff, the trainer for Greenville. Shout out to all the trainers out there in USL League One working hard every weekend.
And it's to a guard of honor that he appears to have exited the contest as he makes way for Michael Gonzalez.
Yeah, probably a smart move here by Rick Wright. It looks like Brent Shipman's day is also done. Wallace Lapsley coming on him, along with another 2 other former Greenville men. Derek Gebhardt is Madison just clearing the bench here, try and get something going.
And Gebhardt will be the final of those quartet. So the goalkeepers come off and Wallace Lapsley's come in. Derek Gebhardt comes in having scored in the prior meeting against Greenville, having scored 3 goals with an assist lifetime against Triumph. He would need to double that if he is to get Madison what they need tonight.
Yeah, came into today dealing with a minor injury, thus he didn't start the game.
Substitutions brought to you by Spinks. And the main one for Greenville is Michael Gonzalez coming in. He has played this role quite well in recent weeks. Late game alteration, get a half hour of run. For Gebhardt, important to note, as he replaces Dean Bolts up top, that with 8 goals this year, not only is he having an outstanding season, also actually taking his first touches in net. This is now the 2nd highest scoring year by an individual in Forward Madison history. Christian Cheney's 11 goals, the all-time high water mark. That happened in the 2023-2024 season.
Rodrigo Robles. Gonzalez sort of played a little 1-2 up top. Gonzalez, Rick Wright was very high on coming into the season, and some injury issues early on. And so capable of playing anywhere on the attacking side of things.
Robles. Rodrigo Robles dancing and diving in a shot that's snapped up by Wallace Lapsley. Whistle shrieks. Good time to tell you, fans, don't miss the action. Secure tickets today at TriumphTix.com. Only a couple opportunities left to see the Greenville boys before the season comes to a close. I haven't done the math precisely, but a home playoff game does not seem in the cards. Giveaway to Michael Gonzalez, who wriggles free and puts one straight onto the chest of Wallace Lapsley, who will watch this one coast over goal off the foot of Rodrigo Robles.
What a chance for Michael Gonzalez. He almost had too much time. A little dig to his right here, opened things up. Lapsley in a good position, came out well to the edge of his 6-yard box to close down the angle. Gonzalez picked a corner, it would have been a 4-0.
It looks like, at least in the defensive phase of play, it's going to be a false 9 situation with Evan Lee behind. Pairing of Robles and Gonzalez. Crazier things have happened for Madison with an hour to dig themselves out. Another half an hour, I should say. Robles, firm first touch, but he's lost the ball now. I want you to guess how many hat tricks have been scored in USL League One this year now. For Papamensa adding himself to the list. Falgiven.
You're asking me?
Yes, I am. Wasn't asking anybody else. There's nobody else to ask.
Could have been asking the listeners. Give them a number if they want to text you their guess, but
don't do that.
Say 5?
6 is the number.
Oh, it's close.
5 coming into tonight, so I'll give you half credit there.
I was playing Price is Right.
How many
under the actual answer?
How many of those can you name is the best question, though. And if you do this, I'll buy you dinner.
I'm not going to cheat, so give me a minute.
Ball pressed wide. And Zeke Soto will bring about an end to your pause of thought.
You're going to give me names, because your memory is a lot better than mine at your young age.
This isn't remember, this is a list that's in front of me.
Henderlong? Did he have one?
Carson Henderlong is not included as a contemporary.
Just going down the standings to kind of shake my memory.
Just getting to the wide side. There is no forward Madison in this company, as Madison has scored the fewest goals in USL League One so far this year. Chopper Herrera couldn't needle through.
I could just lean over and look at your monitor. I'm not going to do that, though.
There is a Greenville player in addition to Papamensa. McLaughlin, Devin Boyce, and Gebhardt in the box. Gebhardt's shot is blocked. And dawdling away from the defensive end, Greenville. Moving out, moseying into the counter. Michael Gonzalez goes it alone, saved away by Wallace Lapsley. Attaching himself to the ball on the rebound is Rodrigo Robles. Already has the 1 assist and dazzles by 1, is hooked down. Timmy Mail brought him down. It's a yellow card.
Just outside the box, Robles managed to roll all the way past the end line.
That was a bit of a gnarly tackle. Up and coming for a free kick, 62 minutes in. I think you see it all over the faces of those Madison players.
Shell-shocked is certainly the word. I think everybody that's watching this game tonight, no matter what side you're on, has been a bit shell-shocked by the performance of this visiting side tonight.
It is a GSP Airports yellow card. All right, So let's really get the inventory now of those players who have the hat tricks.
Go on.
Swaybu Maru.
Swaybu, that's right.
Did it for Charlotte Independence against Westchester as a substitute. In fact, I believe that's the first time that's ever happened. USL League One. Siobhan Marsh against Charlotte Independence for Greenville Triumph.
That's right.
That one I'm expecting you to do better. Eduardo Blancas of AV Alta. And then 2 for Portland Hearts of Pine. Ollie Wright, and most recently Masashi Wada in the midweek.
I'll claim that I wasn't on that Charlotte game.
This is true. Dummied along. Siobhan Marsh had not read that plan.
Siobhan Marsh just taking control. Now running away from several. Which way is does Siobhan Marsh know which way he's going? This is like U8s where they start going the other way.
The good news is there is a goalkeeper back there as a backstop, and Rankenberg will soar through the clutter and float it away.
So Greenville haven't scored 3 goals a ton of times this season until tonight.
Gonzalez. Pumped clear by forward Madison.
5 of them.
A big tackle uprooting Devin Boyce. And that will be a yellow card for TJ Benton.
Boyce has been dealing with his own injury troubles this season.
Hooked up by John Murphy Jr.
Greenville had that 3-0 early winner over Omaha, the 3-3 draw with Richmond, the 3-1 back-to-back 3-goal wins over Chattanooga and Westchester in that crazy 5-4 game. Right, I'm sure we'd love to get anybody with a yellow card out of this game. Not a ton of options on the bench defensively. That's for sure. We did. Tyler Polak obviously could come in if needed. Benton now with a yellow.
Carvins was driving there for a moment. Picked up once more by Murphy. And switched wide and smuggled away by Anthony Patti, who's put in probably his best Greenville performance tonight.
I'm not sure how things were going to go tonight with this back 3. You and I sort of discussed before the game that these have played as a back 3 together. Yeah, you see, it was lovely. Oh, almost a lovely ball from Ruggles. Just a little too much on it.
Everything feels like it's velvety from Rodrigo Robles. He is a luxurious player, that time unable to link up with Siobhan Marsh, and the game is starting to open up a bit. Greenville won't be very keen to that fact as it's pushed out a play for a throw. Away by Benton. The play is summarily stopped. What for is the question?
You'd have to think Rick Wright, excuse me, Mark Ward, you'd be thinking about
there you go.
Some substitutions coming here in the next 5 minutes, you'd have to think. So Tyler Polak with some fresh legs. He hasn't played a ton of late. Carlos Anguiano. Pascal Covito has been starting recently as well. Ivan Ajako, I haven't seen him in a bit for an extended period, but no midweek games left for Greenville, so full-week recoveries at least.
Maybe most impressive that Greenville have done this without Toby Sims, who's been a revelatory influence in defense this year. Greenville are with 3 wins, 2 draws, and 3 losses in the games that Toby Sims has been able to participate in the league. Without him, it is 3 wins, 4 draws, 9 losses.
We've talked to Rick Wright a few times this season about the fact that he likes to get over his best 11 he can get out there. And without Sims, going 3 at the back. I think he planned it tonight before Zane Bubb withdrew himself from the squad. But tons of talented midfielders. As many as you can on the pitch. With the 5 out there.
So missing his 3rd successive game here today. eFootball is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play. Download now. Well, that was uncalled for. Oh, so was that.
Chapa was a bit silly. I looked away because I saw the silly foul from Robles, so I didn't see the response from Murphy. Good job by Flores here, not dishing out any cards, just saying, hey boys, let's stop the nonsense. I thought Chapman might have got one for being the third man in. Flores might not be done yet, he is apparently.
Joe Flores has done a very good job tonight. It's been contentious, it's been hot, but never really reached a point where it felt like players didn't know where the whistle was coming from.
And I think both coaches and Rick Wright would be happy to see that they've had a good performance from a referee. They've been very outspoken about some performances of late. Just big decisions being missed. Yeah, referee Flores has done a great job tonight so far.
Greenville prepping a couple changes. The reading of those here in a couple moments when they are made. In the here and now, it's Rodrigo Robles nipping at the heels of Ramos. It's ushered out of touch, and the window opens for both Ivan Ajakwa and Pascal Corvino. Ajakwa did not play last game, an unused sub, and for the last 5, he'll get a run out here. He's only seen 16 total minutes in the last 5 games. Also looks like Berti Sosa will come in as well and round out the changes for Matt Glazer. He did score last game. Evan Lee exits. This is the 15th time that he's started against forward Madison today. As it stands, it will be in victorious fashion.
Zeke Soto with yellow to his name. Nice sub there as Ferry Sosa comes on. It's Gonzalez and Ramos now going at it.
Spinks bringing to you the substitution and chance to maybe heap some praise on Zeke Soto for a young player. Being called into the starting lineup last minute, never really looked phased.
No. Slotted in nicely at that right wing back spot. Track back when he needed to. Had a couple of chances.
And King, bit of flair.
Just the one shot for Zeke Soto. Obviously, defense was one of his priority this evening.
Tune in to Triumph's next home match at 2 p.m. on Saturday, October 11th versus Union Omaha. That will be a huge matchup for both teams. Greenville on approach, pressing wide and across the front of Rodrigo Robles. The flag never lifted, he was onside.
Good ball by Pascal Corvino. Just a little too much on it. Robles not quite anticipating it enough.
With his assist today, is up to 10 goal contributions in the league alone this year. He has had at least one shot in the last 14 games, Rodrigo Robles, a sign of his attacking intent. Didn't get one off there.
Speaking of shots, Madison with 0 here in the second half, despite being down 2-0. The last shot was back in the 41st minute.
Ponte stepping in and snuffing out. And he's got friends in wide places for company.
Madison just to get back to the drawing board here. So we're still in the mix. 5 points off the playoffs at the moment. They'll certainly be hoping Avialta or Tormenta don't pick up 3 points tonight. Everybody will be hoping for a draw in that one as Rodrigo Robles down, clutching his right foot in some pain.
That's not what you want to see as Greenville Triumph supporter. He has been the brightest spot, potentially, you could argue, in this entire season for Greenville. See what happened.
Just caught from behind. Jacqua, as always, with his shirt tucked in.
For Madison have not gone a second half without a single shot all year long. The lowest amount was against South Georgia back on July 24th.
So I understand that you're down 3-0 on the road. Perhaps trying to conserve some player energy for next week. To have no shots in the second half. You've been down so much for most of it. Especially the first 10 to 15 minutes. I know you were down, gave up the early goal in the second half, but you think, at least for the next 10 minutes, give it a go, try to get one back real quick. It's been a confounding performance from the visitors. Here's a chance, maybe.
Devin Boyce rambling into the box. Shot never comes. It's well tackled by Benton. Now Sosa. And his shot is scooped up, which brings to an end what would have been a trivia question for those of the flamboyant faithful. It was tracking to be, since I did the research, only the third ever half in which Madison did not muster a shot. First coming in 2023 against Lexington. That was the last time they didn't do it in the second half. And then prior to that, in 2022, they didn't get a shot in the first half. The game on September 22nd of 2022. "15 minutes left to it. Papa Mensa had 3. Madison have 0.
Of course, the other thing to consider is goal difference.
True.
Madison now 6 behind Greenville. I don't know if it might come down to that for the last playoff spot or not. Everybody above the playoff line in positive territory, including Charlotte now, after those 3 tonight.
Nico Brown. A punch away by Rankenberg. And a touch away from Siobhan Marsh, who has pace. And a back heel from Robles, and releasing in flow. Siobhan Marsh on a full field run, does catch up and keep it on. And one man waiting in the box is saved away by Lapsley. Had to get there, and he did. It was Gonzalez that was lying with that last chance to maybe punch it home.
Yeah, it was good work by Lapsley. He knew what he had to do there, because after this run by Marsh, he was a little bit out of gas, but I'm sure Lapsley was keeping an eye out the corner who was coming into Greenville. The ball had to be played then by Marsh, and Lapsley knew he had to commit there. There was no chance of a shot coming from Marsh.
It was a ridiculous piece of effort from Siobhan Marsh, and his fans and supporters are making sure that he knows it's appreciated. Stayed in play, despite a little effort to chase it down from Greenville Triumph. They're in security mode at this point. Chapo Herrera didn't get that memo, though.
Never.
Infield for Gebhard. Moved along for McLaughlin, who loses out to Anthony Patti, who clears the lines. Not all the way. Good effort from Murphy, but it's out for a throw. Anthony Patti taking the ball for the throw-in. He is our upstate spine and sport adjustment of the match on the fly. We don't know for certain that it wouldn't have been a back 3, but an educated guess would be that it was not the plan. Late scratch of Zane Bubb forced Anthony Patti to adapt his role. And his adjustment has allowed Greenville to take a posture of a real winner today.
Yeah, technically an adjustment before the match, but it certainly affected the match.
Just needs to be of the match, impertinence to the match.
I know. Just being pedantic.
Out of play here.
Madison will have an extra day of rest after this game. They don't play again until Sunday, but they're going to make that trip to Westchester.
The man with the ball, Anthony Patti, did pick up a yellow card for time wasting. Not quite Not sure what the thing that's keeping Tyler Pollock out of the team other than just trying to conserve his energy down the stretch. Anthony Patti has put in a real claim to maybe get some more minutes in this final bend.
Rick Wright, going back to the beginning there, he was very happy to pick him up as a left-footed centre back. He's able to play left back as well, either in 3 or a 4.
Nico Brown dusting by Siobhan Marsh and spilled clear of the target. Michael Reichenberg and Fricky both there, and a couple former teammates exchanging smiles with Fricky and Devin Boyce.
Fricky must have got a touch on that. Sneaky ball in, Nico Brown showing his pace off.
And King, a well-shaped ball over the head of Ajacqua and Sotu Sosa. Goal kick. Devin Boyce got as close as any have come for Forward Madison tonight.
Definitely got a touch from Fricky. I think Boyce may have just whiffed at it. Nico Brown picking on Siobhan Marsh after that big long run he just had a minute ago.
Gonzalez still giving fight. A little more than 10 minutes left. Forward Madison next up, Sunday, September 28th at Westchester. As you said earlier, as Frankenberg rises to claim, that is a must-win against the team that's currently in the basement, USL League One.
One thing these road trips do is sort of mess with your training schedule a little bit. Back to the Midwest after tonight, up to Westchester, then back home and out to Portland. And then back home again. A big tilt against Chattanooga. We'll certainly be fighting for a top 2 seed.
Now with that game, as Portland in the midweek against Westchester, or rather I should say against Madison, you would have to expect that likelihood Madison would stay out on the East Coast, but as you said, that disrupts some of the training habits, being able to be in your own facility. Infield for Chapa Herrera, scooped away by Ramos. And King, Nico Brown. Jacqua making a long run to take it off his toes. Every Greenville player that's stepped across the line today, so harsh collision from Gebhard will get the whistle involved. Feels like they've been up to the task and understanding of the job at hand.
The question is, can you keep this run going? Can you keep that momentum going into that tough trip to Spokane next weekend?
Nodded away by Ramos. Siobhan Marsh taking custody, but not for long. Poked away by Chapa Herrera.
Previous matchup between those two sides is back here. Fernand's Spokane with a 4-0 victory in that game.
Carlitos Anguiano getting the run out. That's his first league appearance in 12 games as Chapa Herrera embraces his manager. His day is done. Tyler Pollock also inserted after not playing in the last 2 games.
I assume Greenville may go back to 4 at the back then, with Pollock coming in at left back, moving Patti into left centre back. Looks like that's exactly what's happening. Just to help shut up shop a little bit.
Jacques was screening in front of them in defensive midfield.
I've seen Ivan Jack almost play every position except goalkeeper this year. Not quite, but he can play all over the park if needed.
Jacques was not in the team for the last game against Madison. Coming in late is that reservist, and if Greenville are to make it into the playoffs, important that they define that role. So crucial to have those changes to make late in games to secure things. There's confirmation of those changes officially. Knocked out. Nico Brown running into midfield and booted clear. USL Championship and League One are on the CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com, USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Plenty left on the docket across the family of platforms that air this wonderful league. Some have called it the heartbeat of American soccer.
Almost everything, rest of these games, something riding on it. It's a potential home quarterfinal, home semifinal, playoff spot. It's every game worth tuning into.
Of course, we called first of these two exchanges between these teams on the CBS Golazo Network earlier this year. Greenville fell on that day 3-1. They've gotten their revenge on this one in September. It would propel them to the all-time League Series lead as well, as it came into today with 8 draws, 4 wins for each team. Michael Gonzalez, bit of flair, and a flush ball that's out of play for a corner kick.
Rigo Robles was waiting for that one to land. Didn't quite get there.
He is walking with a bit of a limp.
Studded. Chaco just a little earlier.
Connor Evans, he's in search of accolades at the end of the year. Comes the corner. It all counts. Comes high and Ramos meets it in the air. Tricky the second ball. The third is won by Boyce. Space for Jacques, who drives in line and fires off a shot that's saved by Wallace Lapsley. Hit hard at goal. Connor Evans got a taste for target last time out. Scored against South Georgia, unable to make it 2 on the skip.
Yeah, just a little off balance there. Jacquot warding his way into the box. Just trying to beat Lapsley far post. Evans was, certainly would have been at Golazo if he'd managed to connect with that one.
If there's anybody in this team that would have that in their locker, it's him. 2 goals for him on the year, 6 assists as well.
Evans saying he got the ball.
Referee saying he didn't.
At least not before or after going through the back of Derek Gebhardt at least. Well, one thing this win does for Greenville and their fans is at least give them some hope. Loss here certainly would have been the end of things, but with the gauntlet down the stretch, certainly would have been a tall task for them to make the playoffs, but now certainly still a chance, especially if they can get some help tonight. And Madison obviously still alive as well. It's just hard to build off anything off of this performance.
For Greenville, next up, it's away to Spokane, crossing the country to play a team that beat Greenville worse than any team has in their home venue earlier this year. And it will be a game against the old foe, Chattanooga Red Wolves. Away by DJ Benton. Those 2 teams topping the league, and then Union Omaha's next at home.
Yeah, I think if you can pick up a win in those 2 away games against the top 2 teams in the league, I think that would be good. Anything more than that, certainly a bonus, I think.
Well, if anything, Greenville has staved off some negative history here tonight. Loss would have been the longest active home losing streak in the league all time. They snapped their 5 games, all competitions losing streak. So that chapter in Greenville's long-serving existence comes to its end. And they can even get a clean sheet here tonight if they hold their nerve now. They technically have not won in the league at home since July 20th. It's been just over 2 months. Actually, precisely 2 months today.
One thing both of these teams will be doing is checking out some of those games tomorrow. I know, Peyton, you're bringing us Portland against Naples at the 5 o'clock start. The other 5 o'clock kick is Union Omaha against Knoxville. Two teams, they won't care too much about those first two games, but Spokane, Chattanooga, obviously Greenville's two next opponents. I'm sure they'll be watching that game, and then Westchester, Texoma. Both teams will be hoping that game ends in a draw, I would imagine. Perhaps a Westchester win. Certainly don't need a Texoma win. They're hanging out 1 point behind Greenville and tied now with Madison on 26. Just as they were coming into this one.
Greenville at the end of the day, if results hold as they are, and there are things to happen tonight. Avialta will have a game coming up in the late window. Ajakwa stepping in. Greenville hunting in packs. More on that here in a moment. Ajakwa. Connor Evans riding a tackle and still rocking forward. He's gotten to ground, and apparently he's taken a dive. It's a yellow card.
We've seen as many simulation yellow cards tonight as we have all season in the USL League, well, at least the games we've done. I think you and I were talking about it a few games ago, how we hadn't seen much of it. Connor Evans goes down. Not someone who normally goes down without a challenge. Timmy Mel certainly put his foot in there. Referee had a good view of it, though. I mentioned goal differences being a tiebreaker. It's not the first tiebreaker, though wins is, and this would give Greenville 2 more wins than Madison. Also tie Avialta with 7 wins, only 1 behind Tormenta, so it certainly comes down to wins as we've seen in the past.
And we'll get to see Tormenta one more time in this Peach State Derby as Fricky lunges in to take it off its course. Greenville doing their part tonight. There's still work to be done. Five games remaining after this one.
The fourth official has indicated 5 minutes of stoppage.
5 minutes of stoppage time. Pollock meets it in the air. Down by Nico Brown. Pivoting free of his marker and now all the way wide. Sosa scoping in across. Rankenberg rising. Tracking to be Rankenberg's 5th clean sheet of the year after not starting last game against South Georgia. It's not over. Gebhardt guiding into the area and looking for reinforcement. Beaten back from the ball, and it's a throw-in. Goals from Ropapa-Mensah 10 minutes in, then a half hour in, and then 1 minute into the second half. What puts distance between the two teams on the day.
Richmond have pulled one back late. Chandler Dwyer makes the penalty this time after Darwin Espelon missed earlier. Obviously, the penalty miss that came back to haunt them. It would have been 3-3 otherwise.
As it currently stands, this will be the largest margin of victory. The joint largest, that being in the history of this match. Madison winning 4-1 in 2023. And it could get bigger. Robles. Free on the near side. Michael Gonzalez picking up his hat. Ajakwa.
he was waiting for Tyler Pollock to make the run, but I think he was worried he was offside. Pollock had a good view across the pitch, just didn't want to go.
Nothing wrong just keeping the ball. Persistent press forward Madison. Anguiano's in for it. Fricky's on the charge. He goes down and pops up with quite a bit of anguish.
Good job by referee Flores getting in the middle of that one, although many would like to see a Brandon Fricky Ramos, I won't say a fight. Those two big boys.
Encouraging violence is kind of unwise. Yeah, I'd say so.
I was trying to find another word for it. A skirmish. We'll call it a skirmish. Referee Flores, again, doing a good job.
It is a free kick. Knocked away, and King. Well, there's still something left in it for Sosa, who knocks it on. Having been knocked down, and chance escapes for Madison again.
Heroics tonight for Faraday Sosa. Thank goodness for Madison fans that he got that one last week, though. 1 point from these 2 games.
It's also
not been good.
Break up 4 successive games without victory against Madison for Greenville Triumph dating back to 2023. Sosa. Infield for Boyce. And Fricky with one last action. Hits it as hard as he can into the ad boards.
Also annoying Madison fans tonight would be the fact that Christian Cheney has a brace for Charlotte. He did get the second of the, excuse me, the third of the 3 goals for the Jacks.
And King with some running to catch up. And Jacques just snatched the ball from him. It's a clean tackle, and it's a 3-on-2. Robles spotting the spare man and unable to spread the ball to him.
I think his foot just ran out of gas. You could see what he was trying to do, just barely tickled it in the end.
The referee will not allow it to exceed a second past 95 minutes. And Greenville Triumph put right by Ropapamensa on the night. 3-0 the final score. And that man will be gleeful to take his first game leading a professional side with 3 points.
Mark Ward, undefeated as head coach of the Greenville Triumph, albeit on a 1-game interim basis. I'm sure he'll be happy to hand Rick Wright the reins back after a 3-0 victory, and Rick Wright will also be happy that his understudy pulled it out here tonight.
So it all settles down in Greenville. It was all but determined. A minute into the second half, Ropapamensa, the one who brings it to Greenville Triumph with a much-needed 3 points in the game. We'll break it all down when we return. Greenville 3, Madison 0.
Welcome to Wood Creek Dental, where dental care is a family tradition. For over 40 years, we're proud to be a family-owned practice, serving the community of Greenville, South Carolina. At Wood Creek Dental, we believe in quality care and exceptional service. Our experienced dentists and dedicated staff are committed to your oral health. We've invested in modern technology and have created a relaxing atmosphere for your comfort and peace of mind. We prioritize your experience in our calm and caring atmosphere. Our commitment to providing you and your family with exceptional service is at the heart of everything we do, and our patient-centered approach builds relationships based on trust and confidence. Experience the difference for yourself. Wood Creek Dental. Dental care from our family to yours.
What exactly is a Sully steamer? Our sandwiches are made to order, which means once you've taken a look at our big menu and narrowed down your options, we go to work. Our sandwiches are stuffed with fresh, flavorful ingredients and then placed in our special steamer until the sandwich gets warm and soft and fuses all the flavors together to achieve the peak of tastiness. Are you hungry yet?
An uproariously good night for Greenville Triumph, who take it on the day over their old rivals Forward Madison 3-0. Peyton Gallagher here with Ross Davenport. And Ross, as we take a glimpse back at the GSP Airport highlights of the game. Ropapa Mensah, the author of all of them.
There's the Ropapa Mensah show tonight. First one, just a lobbed ball in by Robles. I'm not sure if Robles even looked at it. You can see his reaction. He sort of turned away, expecting a Madison player to get on it. They all just stood there watching and watched Ropapa Mensah finish it.
He would emerge in the pivotal moments. Was something of maybe a motif for the night. The gritty there, if you can call it that. Smoke certainly. In Greenville, we're up and running 10 minutes in.
Certainly his best goal and best strike of the night. It did come off another Madison mistake, though. Herrera, Madison doesn't need a touch to set himself up. Just smashes it home far post. No chance for Bert Shipman after the turnover in the middle of the park. It's 2-0 the break, and Madison might try to play their way back into this, but Shipman just took too long to get to this ball. Hurt himself on the whatever that was, and Papa won't score any easier goals than that.
It wasn't the most impressive hat trick of all time. Ropapa Mensah pretty much just with extra effort getting 2 of the 3 goals, but well worth his performance on the day as the standings sit where they sit. At the end of these 90 minutes, there's still a game with live action afoot. Charlotte Independence and Richmond Kickers, for the outcome won't change where Greenville end tonight as they are currently in 10th.
And the 2 teams above them playing later tonight. I expect Greenville fans will be hoping that one ends in a draw. Perhaps if Tormenta win wouldn't be terrible either.
4 points off the pace as it stands, and still work to be done. There is still time to do it. As we come to a close here on the evening, Ropapa Mensah, the one who writes the headlines for Greenville Triumph, as they break back from their skid. 3-0 the final score over Forward Madison. For my partner Ross Davenport and our entire fantastic cast and crew, folks, I've been Peyton Gallagher. USL League One season continues. We will certainly talk to you soon.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.